We're the indie project Bee and Theo, and we've been living and travelling the world in vans for the past 6 years. We're currently renovating an abandoned stone barn in Portugal to turn into a beautiful tiny home for us and our cats Ginjey Bear and Furrnando. Follow our journey from the very beginning as we document the whole process of creating an off-grid home.
Good morning guys, welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to our property here in Central Portugal. I usually say sunny Central Portugal, but it's actually quite cloudy today. It is November, the rainy season is upon us, but we've got a lot to be getting on with, so hopefully these clouds burn off and we have another lovely working day.
I'd like to say a big thank you to Surfshark VPN who have kindly sponsored today's video. Now firstly, a VPN is a virtual private network that keeps your information safe when you're browsing the internet, especially important if you're using public Wi-Fi. But number two, I really love the fact that Surfshark allows you to access internet in different countries. So I change my IP address from Portugal to the US quite a lot because there's shows there like American Horror Story that I'm about 2 seasons behind that I can't catch up on over here in Europe, so it's so good to be able to change where I am in the world online. And also Surfshark automatically blocks 1 million malicious websites, phishing scams and other threats online. So what are you waiting for? Grab yourself a deal today with Surfshark by clicking the link in our description or using the code IndieProjects, and you can get a whopping 83% off and an extra 3 months free with Surfshark VPN. I'm stoked that Theo managed to get that hideous stain off the beam because it honestly did ruin my day completely. He saw my face, I was just done. I didn't want to continue, I was over it. This was my worst nightmare, getting a line stain on there, because when I've tried to sand them off, I've never been able to remove them, so I don't know what wizardry Theo did, but he's managed to get it off and it looks stunning. It looks how it did originally, which is exactly what we wanted. And now I'm just going to apply some Danish oil. This is the exact same one that we used all over the roof, well, the ceiling and the other beams, so it'll match up perfectly, which is good. I'm actually really happy that we have some left over because this wasn't part of the plan and you can't easily get this in Portugal. I had to order it from Lisbon from a specialist shop, so let's get applying.
One of the reasons we were so upset with the stain that was right here, and it was just really ugly, it didn't look organic at all, it was horrible. But this is like the main feature of the room, so from wherever you look in the room, this is what you see. So having a big black stain there would not have been something that we wanted, and we put so much effort into the rest of the building, we thought we've got to do it properly. And look, here's a close-up, and you can see the grain of the chestnut, and it looks gorgeous once again.
I've seen the world on my own, but it doesn't look the same. Black and blue, and I don't know why I ever looked away. The sun is always shining, even when it goes away. Until it comes back around, I'm here to light the way. We're better together. Better together. We're better together.
I'm overjoyed with how it looks. It's matched up perfectly. You can't tell. I definitely can't tell, and that's only with one coat. So when all three are on there, it should look like nothing ever happened and it's as it was originally intended to be. And I know some people will just be watching and like, oh, you know, whatever, it's just a stain. It adds to the rustic charm, and there are some that do add to the rustic charm that we have left on there because we don't mind the way they look. But this one was just so jarring and, like Theo said, so unnatural in its appearance that it just did not work with how we envisioned it. And we've worked so hard to have this how we want it. We've had our ups and downs, and if something like this, if you can fix it, you may as well, because peace of mind is worth it. And now I'm so happy with how it looks. Just look at it behind me. Stunning.
We've got a little bit of a problem this morning. The tractor will not start, and I've diagnosed it as basically the battery's dead. And It can't be brought back to life. I've tried jump starting it with the truck, but the voltage is just too low. The problem we had is we've been having some really cold nights at the moment, and the battery is quite old anyway, so it's time for a new one, but we need to use the tractor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap out the battery from the truck to the tractor and use that. Should be a very straightforward process because I only hand tighten these from last time I took the battery out. Proper farmer. There we go.
Nice and simple.
It took me all of what, a couple seconds.
Well done.
I'm just removing the tyres with lots of water in them off the tractor. Ah! Literally soaked. I cannot wait to not have to do this. So this is covered in some Ecotech, which is like roofing material that is completely waterproof but allows it to be able to breathe. So that means the tractor doesn't get wet underneath this stuff. And then we have a tarp covering the UTV. This is not ideal to keep covering up the UTV and the tractor every time it rains. It's just a pain. So that is what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be starting the process of a proper garage. I'll explain more in a little while, but I need to just get this cover off and then get cracking on.
Theo's just swapped out the batteries, so it should all start perfectly fine, because even though this truck is from 1979, she's very tractor is from 1979. She's so reliable and always starts. It's definitely just a battery issue. There we go. Happy days.
You're my sunshine every morning, light up every moment, make my every dream come true. Describe it. Took my tongue and tied it, sent my heart over the moon.
This is just a pile of old straw and things that's just kind of clumped up, and the chickens enjoy going through it, but it's in the way of where we need to do the work that we want to do today. So the old tractor is very good at clearing bits out like this. Just look at that, it's totally flattened the ground as well, which is amazing. Brilliant, so good. And where I'm standing right now, and actually where the chickens are behind me, is where we're planning on working today. We did a lot of clearance the other day, but we still need to map out where the garage is going to go, get the ground level, clear out any crap that's down there, because this is where the tent was. And as you saw, that tent got destroyed and everything in it pretty much got flung around everywhere, so we just need to clear up that spot. Oh, silence.
Welcome to Mount Rubble. We moved all of this with another friend off camera using a tractor and just filling the bucket and dumping it here, and it means that we've cleaned a massive area behind the barn where the next project is going to take place. So that's a good job done, but we still got a little bit more clearing to do.
First port of call, cut the broom.
Yeah, we're making some room because this broom is absolutely massive. I mean, look at it compared to the size of me. It's got to be a good 8 to 10 foot in some areas. So we're trying to make some more room because we've got just about enough room for the actual block structure, but they're not for the lean-to that's going to come off the side. So we'll talk more about that in a little while. I need to get on with this because it's pretty tricky.
And unfortunately we only have, let me just hold this better. Unfortunately we only have one pair of loppers, so it's just gonna have to be Theo who cuts the broom. I know, I'd really love to help, but I can't, so. If only the Passat was working. Could you use that?
Etc.
So you're gonna lasso the broom and try and rip it out?
Indeed.
Interesting. Very interesting. Is this
Because-
innovative or lazy?
Because we're going to put a concrete pad, we need to get the slabs out. So even if
The slab's out.
we need to get the roots out so that we can put a concrete slab over it. We don't want roots underneath our concrete slab.
No.
That would not be good. So this is the best option I can come up with, because actually
Okay.
the
and
chainsaw, chopping it down is not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Chainsaw doesn't get the
come
roots
on, I'm
out.
desperate to see whether this actually is going to work.
Mate, I'm doing it, of course it's going to work. Watch and learn.
What are you going to fix that to?
Oh yeah.
The box going to be in the way?
No.
So putting the tractor in low is the perfect speed and strength needed to pull it out. It literally took the roots out and the whole thing just out. It looked so easy. So I'm going to set up a time lapse now of the tractor doing all the hard work for us.
Come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away with me. Make my heart race in a hurry, lose my every worry, every second I'm with you. We'll turn all the pages, check off all the places, every day is something new. Don't that sky look blue? Yeah. Come fly away with me, imagine all the things that we could see.
The chickens are having a whale of a time because I've just been over this area where the garage is going to go with the tractor and the back box, and it does an amazing job at just taking out all of the high points. So at least when we get our shovels out, we've got a slightly flatter area to work off now, and I've taken all the debris off the top, all the organic matter that we don't want
Haven't had to rake.
there, and we haven't had to use a rake, so that's always nice to, instead of doing the manual labour by hand, we can use a tractor as much as possible to make our life easier. The garage isn't going to go up overnight because it's just me building it, and it's going to be built out of breeze blocks. I've never built with breeze blocks before. I'm going to have a lesson with Nick from Project Portugal, so I'm excited to learn how to lay the breeze blocks. I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm going to be okay, and I'm going to learn it pretty quickly because I've managed to do all of the stonework and the gable ends in stone on the barn, so I've had lots of practice with laying really organic stones and like different shapes and sizes, and getting the whole way of like laying a line and doing that kind of stuff. So I think it's going to be easier to lay the block work, and it should go up fairly quickly once I get the hang of it. We've already got the windows, the doors. One thing that I do want to get is a nice big shutter door for the front, so I can pull it up and I can drive the UTV or the tractor straight into the lockable workshop, and then I'm gonna have a workbench in there.
Space. Look at this area.
I know 4x4 meters is what we can build, so that's actually a good space. I don't think we'd want to go much bigger if we could anyway. So I'm feeling pretty stoked about this project, but right now we're going to get a line down and actually see what the space looks like.
Hear the commotion, and that's okay, 'cause we're in motion. I can feel the sway. There's nothing to fear, my friend. Oh no, it's the natural rattle. And when the ground is shaking, you thunder roar. Wouldn't worry, it's just a storm.
I wasn't expecting to have to dig out the jackhammer today, but I came across the strongest stone I've ever seen in my life, and I've jackhammered a lot of granite on this land, especially inside the barn when we were digging out the floor, and turns out it's so strong the jackhammer won't go through it, so we've just decided to leave it there and move the building another half a foot forwards. So our string line is now set up for the garage building so we can get an idea of space. We may move it over a little bit. The whole reason we did this today and flatten this area is so that we could understand the idea of how big it was actually going to be, because when you put 4x4 meters on paper it doesn't sound that big, but when you stand in it you're like, okay, this is a really decent space. And the way we got this building lined up here is we took a string line from the actual barn all the way to our first peg in the corner there. That way we know this building is on the same axis as the barn, because we think it would be really weird if this building was really skew whiff to the barn. And the plan is we're going to have a window in the back of the garage here. We're going to have a window here. We've got all the windows and doors ready. You remember in an earlier video we picked them all up for a really good price in the Certa area. So big window here that will open nicely, and then we're going to have a door through here so we can walk into the garage. But then at the front we're going to have that big shutter or rolling garage door so that we can drive the UTV right in. And then on one side we'll have a big workbench for my chop saw, my table saw, all of the saws, everything hanging up, and all the implements for the tractor and stuff like that can live in here if they need to, and it'll be fully locked up. We're going to put bars on the windows. We're really safe here, really secure, but we want something where we can lock up and leave stuff and feel safe and good about it.
I'm really happy that we got that space all mapped out, because even though we can't do it right now, it's good to actually see the space that we are going to have, because it's going to be so welcome here. We definitely need that. And I'm actually standing in here getting ready to do the second coat of oil in the barn. I'm really happy with how the beam looks. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but it's blended in so nicely, and with 2 more coats it'll look exactly like the rest, which is perfect. It's all slowly coming together, and there's actually a storm rolling through, so it's perfect time to come and work in here. But there's a couple more things that we want to get done outside with the tractor. You can probably hear the engine is on, so I better go and help Theo now.
Back on the tractor.
What are you doing?
I can't get enough of being on the tractor today. It's so much fun. I love doing this groundwork stuff, but basically, come up here so you can actually hear what I'm saying. I'm going to be just moving this sand. It keeps protruding into the area where we walk around.
Oh yeah,
and it's just getting in the way. And as we get closer to moving into our home, we want to live in somewhere that doesn't look like a building site and everything's organised, because we will be gravelling areas. We will be having a driveway that comes in that's all gravelled, and we need to prepare for that, because I think we're not long until we're getting into the barn, and then we can start doing all the pretty stuff. So all this work, I actually quite enjoy it, to be honest.
Hear the rocket all day and night. The world is noisy, and that's alright.
That storm that I mentioned was on its way, made its way just as I was up here sorting out a new battery pack for the camera, and it's trapped us both up here at the caravan. We want to go down to the barn, so we're going to have to do that in a minute anyway and just go out in the rain. But it's just getting heavier again. So maybe we'll wait a couple of minutes and see if it passes, but it is a really nice sound actually, I think, under this roof. Here we go.
It's still raining a little bit, so I don't really want to get on the tractor seat when it's soaking wet. Can't be bothered to dry it. The sun's going down in literally 5 minutes, so we're going to move inside. It doesn't matter if it's dark, it doesn't matter if it's raining. We're going to do the second coat of oil on the mezzanine beam, and I'm excited to show you how it's turned out because it looks amazing.
It's so nice being in here when the weather's dark and miserable and rainy outside, because it feels so cozy, and seeing the weather through the windows is really nice. And it's so quiet. Like, I know you can hear the Jenny right now, that's because it's right behind the window, but what we need to do is move this over here so we can do the second layer, because the beam, as I said earlier, it's had one layer so far and that's already brought out the grain. It looks so stunning. We were kind of like, oh, it looks really nice when it was pale, and then the moment we put the oil on, no, definitely needs to be oiled. So it only takes about 5 minutes to do, which is fab, unlike when I was doing the whole ceiling and it took about a whole day each time. But it's worth it because we're living in here and we want it to be perfect.
So waves of change are coming, crashing in the blue, right until the morning light. I'm holding on to you. We're better together, better together, we're better together, better together.
I'm now done with the oiling, the second coat is on, and I'm so happy that we managed to deal with the issue that was on there, that hideous stain, get that removed, and perfect for us now. The beam is back in its original glory that it should have been, and we've actually just been measuring up underneath the mezzanine here for a sofa that we found, because even though we don't have the flooring yet, we have been looking up and trying to get everything prepared for when the floor's down we can get our furniture in, and we found the most stunning sofa yesterday that we just can't stop thinking about. So we've measured up and it should fit perfectly. It was the comfiest sofa we've ever sat on, so we're really excited about that, and we really hope that you've enjoyed today's video. We got a lot of stuff accomplished that we wanted to, and as ever we're moving forward, moving on, and this change is happening every single day. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribed and hit like on the video, and we'll see you in the next one.